First time I had my period, I was about 12 or 13. I was at my dad's place, and I remember going to the toilet and there was some blood, and I was like, oh shit, this is happening.
The first time I had my period, I was kind of like almost waiting for it because I'd like heard about it in classes, and I was kind of like, this should be coming any time now. And then it happened, and I was like, what do I do? Mom, how do I actually deal with this?
The first two were very, very heavy, and I was a bit panicky. I was like, oh God, what if they're all like this? This is too much to handle. But it kind of evened out in time. It was all right.
So I phoned my mum, and I was like, I told her, and she then phoned my dad and told him to go buy, like, I think she described what he had to buy. And I remember him being quite panicky. I think he was more nervous about it than I was about like the prospect of going to like the women's aisle and having all these different packages. And he was like basically begging me to come with him, but I was like, I can't, like I'm bleeding. I don't want to go to the shop right now. The difference between now and as like an early teenager is just that you're a lot more chill about it.
So much more like relaxed about it. It's just like an inconvenience, really. It's just like, oh, here we go again.
I mean, yeah, it's just kind of part of your life, and it doesn't seem like a big deal, and most grown-ups will understand that it's just a natural thing and it's nothing to be ashamed of.
Now I'm a lot more relaxed about it. It's just a daily thing, something throughout the month that you just have to think about and deal with.
I wouldn't say I've ever really been ashamed of having my period. Maybe just a little bit uncomfortable and hoping people won't notice it, but mostly I would just, it's normal, everyone has it.
I don't think I've ever been ashamed of having my period. Maybe like when I was a teenager there was some uncomfort about it and you didn't really want to share it, you would try to hide it. But I don't think shame was the emotion I ever felt.
Definitely, probably I would say so. I've tried to hide it, didn't really speak to anyone about it, so probably, yeah, quite ashamed.
When I was younger on a holiday, a camping trip with my dad and my brother, we were on the airplane, and I didn't realise this, but if you're on an airplane the gravity changes and that can cause your period to happen quicker.
One of my friends actually, she was sitting in church and she like bled onto the pew, and there was like a couple of like spots on the pew, and she was crazy embarrassed.
It can bring it on faster, which I did not know, so I was not prepared because I was like, oh, I've got 2 weeks, it's fine. And I didn't, and it arrived and I didn't have any products on me, so I had to, I was like 15 or 16 at the time, so I was old enough to go to the bathroom on my own, obviously. So I just went and asked the air hostess staff if they had any products I could use, and thankfully they did, but it was their own ones, it wasn't like it was airplane ones, if you get me.
I think everyone's had an issue, like running out and not realising your period started and not being able to find a tampon or a pad, and then just like getting tons of toilet paper and like praying that it'll be enough.
No, honestly, I'm quite privileged in the fact that I've never had to think about.
Period poverty does exist all over the world, even in countries that are developed. It is something that affects a lot more people than everyone realises.
I don't think I knew anything about period poverty until very recently, when Scotland started really working on making period products more affordable and available.
I don't think I was really aware of period poverty until things started being done to fix it, because I'd never had an issue with it.
It's a personal issue, so it's not really something that's talked about much. It's starting to be talked about now, which is a good thing. People are reporting on it, people are sharing their stories, people are realising that there is a level that needs to be reached for it to be acceptable. It can't just be brushed under the carpet, it needs to be addressed.